What's good, y'all? It's the answer. We back with another one, man. It's a lot to unpack on this with this Troy Ave tax. We actually had Banger's brother, that's Troy Ave's best friend / bodyguard, who happened to lose his life in terms of the incident. His brother, Trife, comes on, explains the court proceedings, what's been presented, what's going on, and gives some details that we all didn't know. So let's get into that. We'll comment throughout and after. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Facing attempted to attack Stone, and the weapons that was in the car, and the weapon he took from Tax Stone. Before Tax Stone was even charged, he was charged with the gun and the feds.
So basically,
when he went to the feds for the gun, fell into possession. Somebody in South Carolina proved that he got the gun from them and brought it to New York. After the situation happened at Urban Plaza, they ran the DNA on the gun and saw his DNA, and they traced it back to South Carolina, saw that he brought the gun to New York and in the venue, thus charging him with the gun possession, crossing state lines, felon in possession. He was given the opportunity to get a bail package. The judge denied it, and him and his attorney wrote a full letter about Troy Ave, talking about my brother had an open case, all types of stuff. This is before he's charged. That's it. I'm not gonna say too much because yesterday in court. Hold on. Yesterday in court, while they was cross-examining Troy Ave, Tax Stone lawyer allegedly quoted me from a conversation, a past conversation in Clubhouse. So I'm just going to speak to the facts, and that's what I'm saying. If we're going to talk about Ave, we're going to talk about before Ave was signed to any agreement. Tax Stone was the first person who said anything about anybody, and it had nothing to do with the fact that that case wasn't even on his lap yet. Yep. He had a gun charge, and he wrote a full statement, then tried to tell about his attorney did it. That's your attorney. The attorney cannot do nothing without your approval. Bottom line, I mute my mic.
Hey,
when I told y'all, when I came in here and told y'all said I was a fan, y'all said I was lying.
But what about the gun case? What about the gun case? Did that just go away?
Wait, the tax gun case is separate from the case. That's a federal charge because the felon possession of a weapon.
Yeah, didn't he have a gun too? Troy had a gun too, right?
Troy had a tax gun, and he had two other guns in the car. His two guns that was in the car in the stash box did not go into the venue. So he is charged with being on camera shooting at Tax. That's the gun charge. That's the possession. Because even after the situation happened, he was in possession of that weapon. They secured his vehicle, and it was that gun and two other guns in the vehicle. That's what he's charged with.
Right, so he's still fighting that case right now, right?
That case is currently still open. He's still out on bail for that case, correct?
Okay, cool.
The ones that was found in the car, correct?
The ones that was found in the car and the other gun is a possession.
And let me ask you this. Let it reflect, right? Troy Ave did not tell on Tax Stone when he first got locked up for that incident.
Nah, the DA, listen, I'm speaking, and I told y'all before, I wasn't speaking on nothing until I got facts, right? And people like, yo, why? I'm in court so I can get the facts. I don't want to hear no third-party stories. I want to see the facts rolled out in court because it's been all these so-called experts who've been in the building, but you know how that go, that got all this to say about what happened, what didn't happen. So in the courts, though, we getting the facts of what happened. So you just asked me, what about the situation?
When he first got locked up, Tax Stone did not get locked up, correct?
Correct. When Troy when he was first arrested, he was arrested immediately after because they had him on camera shooting that. So they didn't have the details of what happened. So they arrested him. They made him a suspect and they made Casanova a suspect. Tax wasn't even a suspect yet until they ran the DNA.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So if Troy Ave would have been ratting, it would have been black and white. He would have gave him a statement of Tax Stone right then and there, correct?
The DA said at trial, this is facts, that originally there was no statement and Troy Ave refused to talk to law enforcement up until months later.
After he found out that Tax sent the letter to the judge.
Correct. That's my understanding.
Clip that, y'all.
That letter came out on April 11th. He did not sign any cooperation with any DAs until April 26th.
And remember, at this time, Taxstone was not charged in the murder. His letter clearly states that he was. Read the letter. It says he was not charged as of yet in that case. He was running.
Exactly. It wasn't until Taxstone, and I don't know if you noticed, he tweeted at the Troy Ave and Wolf got in the Maserati on Christmas. Taxstone tweeted that wasn't incidental. He tweeted something that implicated him in all that. Coincidental.
Let me say this too, right? And I think that's what a lot of people is not understanding. That all the facts that came out, proven facts his attorney has not been able to dispute, is that he is the person who brought that weapon into the venue. No ifs and buts about that. His attorney's only defense. You're in court, you come to court, it's still trial, it's still going on, it's a free place to be. A bunch of people wanted to pull up yesterday and watch Troy Ave testify. Open to the public, you see for yourself. His only defense, and this has to be something that the defendant agrees to, his only defense is Troy Ave did it. Come on, we serious?
And that he did other crimes. Trife, tell him, like, he bringing up other articles, other podcasters and other niggas.
They tried to turn my brother into a hitter during this. I was in the courtroom before Ave testimony, taking Ave testimony out of the whole conversation. His own man's cooked him. Kaz cooked him. That's a federal wiretap. The feds knew what happened the same night tapping Malcolm's phone. The same night, they said the judge. When they tried to stop that audio of Casanova calling Malcolm, the same person who Tax met with the night it happened, the same person he stayed with in California for 2 weeks. When they played that audio from the night of, and Cass leaving the venue, talk about, yo, Tax just shot. You can't dispute that. The jury heard that. In this trial, that audio was played. That wiretap is what got them to get Malcolm, his man, to start talking about the situation with him and Tax telling him what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, how you arguing his man's both implicating him in the situation? You can't argue that. The jury heard that. That's it. No matter how anybody outside in Clubhouse, in the streets, on YouTube feel about it, it's those 12 jurors and what's being presented to those jurors. And prior to Troy Ave coming in, there wasn't no reasonable doubt on what's going on here, and I'm keeping it 100. I'm been sitting here being fair in this situation. If it presented something else that made me shift my mind, then I would say that. But I ain't listen. It's going the way we've been knowing it's going to happen. That boy did what he did, and that's that.
All right, where do we begin? So you heard Banger's brother. You heard Troy Ave's girlfriend, who happened to be in the car when the Maserati thing went down. That was her speaking as well. The interesting thing about all this is there's a lot of back and forth about there's no self-defense in New York. Most self-defense cases, the person who's defending themselves has to make a statement. How does that look on the street code? Not so good. So you got back and forths about that. Then you have the situation where Tax was getting at Troy Ave through Twitter, all types of ways, on his podcast, this and that. He lost his best friend, and then he's coming after him, and he's supposed to not say what happened. And this is where the street code falls on his face. This is where there's no way for them to know what happened without the green room being on camera. There's no way. You can't do it. What happened out in the venue after it was wrestled away, yeah, that's clear. But how it went down in the green room, what they supposed to do? Just leave it to people who wasn't there to figure it out? Or Taxstone writing a letter saying, hey, him and his brother is known for doing these types of things all over the city. What about this incident? What about that charge? So after that letter is when Troy decided to do what he had to do. None of us want to be in that situation. It is what it is. You want to call it telling, and that's just what it is. That's fine. But he still didn't have a choice, which sounds crazy, right? In the same sense. So anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. It's your boy Dell the Answer, man. We'll keep you posted with the content. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, man, we out.